白くて美しいあなた、奥様がファンデーションを知りたいと。
私使ってません。
ポンスダブルホワイト。
昼の美白と夜の美白、ダブルの美白6週間。ファンデーションには頼りません。
薬用ポン酢ダブルホワイト。
チルミルおいしい。チルミル元気。チルミル元気。
おいしい栄養ください。
チルミルもれながチルミル。
あんなきついこと。
市外局番からあなたが何気なくかけている電話、つないでいるのは NTT コミュニケーションズです。
リンゴフルーチェリンゴ新発売。ミルクと混ぜるだけ。リンゴおいしさビッグリンゴ。ハウスフルーチェリンゴ新発売。当たるよ。
アメリカの女の子、お母さんから最初に教わるのはクッキーの作り方です。ホームメイドタイプだけの美味しさ。富士屋カントリーマート。
鳩麦玄米月味噌草原美茶特ダミハブ茶。爽やかに健やかに美しく草原美茶。
Alright, what up everybody, it's your boy the Dragon here, and welcome back to Fate Stay Night Heaven's Feel. If you're watching this on YouTube, you're watching an archive stream, should have checked me out live, link is always in the description down below, as well as a link to my Discord, which I will let you know what I'm doing, what I'm thinking, how I'm feeling, all of that good stuff. I'm on my way to 1K followers before the end of the year, so if you're not already following me on Twitch, please do so, and that's fine if you want to stay on YouTube, it's cool. Just if you continue watching the series from, because we started from the base game, make sure you hit the subscribe button. It's free to do so, and I'm trying to get to 2K subscribers before the end of the year. So everyone counts. Where we last left off, I think basically what ended up happening is that our girl kind of passed the fuck out in the bathtub. In the bathtub. We brought her to the guest room, and then we just waited for her to fall asleep. I thought for sure that we were going to end up falling asleep next to her, but that didn't apparently happen. It looks like we're about to go hunting. Let me grab my notes real quick so I can write down the timestamps for you. But looks like we're about to go serpent hunting. So the lights go out in the house. It's past 11 p.m. and the town is fast asleep.
では竜道寺にマスターがいると。
遠坂の話じゃな。厄介な相手だから手は出すなと言ってたけど、拉致の昏睡事件はそいつの仕業らしい。その真偽は定かじゃないけど、どっちみち確かめなくちゃいけないだろ
う。そうですね。確かに竜道寺に至る霊脈に作為的なものを感じます。あの山にマスターがいることに間違いはないでしょ
う。どうしたセイバー、乗り気じゃないのか。昨日に比べてどこか覇気がないけど。
はい、あの山はサーバントにとって鬼門です。
You just tell that?
軽はずみな進行は避けたい。
じゃあ今夜は巡回にとどめて、竜道寺はもう少し情報を得てから探りを入れるか。確かに相手がどのサーバントのマスターかも知らないうちに攻め込むのは無謀だし。
いいえ、その必要はありません。竜道寺に今日構えるようなマスターならばおいそれと正体を明かさないでしょう。早々に決着をつけるのならば正面から力で打ち破るのみです。
If Saber says so, then we probably have a chance of victory. I'd also like to stop the master from putting any more townspeople into comas as soon as possible.
よし、竜道寺に行こう。けどセイバー、今回の目的はあくまで調査だからな。相手のマスターの正体とどのサーバントを連れているかが分かったら一旦引こう。情けないが俺にはセイバーの援護ができない。その分慎重に行きたいんだ。
I can't let Saber get hurt like last time with Berserker. But since I can't help her in a fight, I have to protect her in a different way. Every version of Shiro that isn't the main version, like the main route, is so much more like sensible.
わかりました。最終的な判断はシローに委ねます。戦闘か退却かはあなたが決めてください。
それはそれで嬉しいんだが怖いな。万一倒せる相手が出てきても臆病風に吹かれて逃げ出しかねないぞ俺。
I don't think that's true.
なるほど。そういった場合も考えられますね。シローは戦闘経験が少ないですから。
That is true, and that's probably him running is probably the smart choice. But I don't think that's something he would do. You know what I mean?
ああ、そればっかりは事実だからな。自分から地雷原に突っ込むような真似は避けたいし、そういう時は注意してくれると助かる。
はい。では、シローが判断を誤った時は私から忠告を。もちろんそれではシローのためになりませんから、シローの判断が間違えていた場合、何らかのペナルティを負ってもらうことにしましょうか。
I doubt that his life being on the line here is not enough, but go ahead.
何らかのペナルティって具体。
さあ、それを口にしてはつまらない。数少ない楽しみですから、私だけの秘密としましょう。
I do like every the alternate versions where Shiro and Saber are friends. They're very cute. Saber seems to be making a joke. Maybe it's Fujini's influence. I sure hope it's a joke anyway.
しかしシロ、私たちはともかく、さくらは大丈夫なのですか？
ああ、俺もそう思ったんだけど、熱を測ってみたら大したことなかった。とりあえず一晩ゆっくり休んでもらって様子を見る。
そうですか。では迷いなく戦いに赴けますね。
I nod and look out towards the guest house. Sakura's room is on the second floor of the building. We need to leave and return to the house without her noticing.
行くぞセイバー。ここからはマスターとしての時間だ。他のことは考えない。
I leave the house with Saber. The moon is high in the sky and the darkness feels dense. Up above, the clouds move quickly, perhaps due to the wind. Under the pale moonlight, peeking and disappearing beneath the clouds, we beat a swift pace to enemy territory. A high-pitched noise fills the air. A white blade clatters to the ground, scattering motes of light all around it as it reflects the brilliant moonlight. Sticky blood coats his lips. A man falls to his knees on the stone steps, bidding farewell to his longsword as it sinks into the darkness. He will never pick up that sword again. His coat is stained in blood, its newly dyed threads making it resemble a gallant crimson flower.
なんとよもやダカツマカツの類とは。
The man's lips seem like white bone in contrast to the fresh blood spilling from his belly. The vital tremble of life has already left his throat. Sasaki Kojito's innards are already functioning as something else. The mountain gate is quiet. Neither the servant guarding it, nor the newly appeared shadow make a move. The battle is already over. Whatever just swiftly ascended the stone steps defeated Assassin. There was no time to cross blades or even acknowledge the enemy. What the fuck? Whatever it was a different dimension altogether. The gatekeeper's body tears. His torso is ripped apart. Without a weapon, Assassin cannot even end his own life. It walks, steadily, surely. The shadow lovingly, or perhaps disdainfully, strokes the cheek of the servant called Assassin. Oh. A spidery, ghoulish arm erupts from his shredded torso. Bones entangle. Meat tears. He feels the organs and entrails that once belonged to him morph into something else. He fights the surge of blood that threatens to burst forth. The swordsman swallows it down, a genial grin playing across his lips.
よかろう。好きにするがいい。所詮は我が腹より吐いてるもの。ろくな性根ではなかろうよ。
Even from within and deprived of a merciful death, he smiles. It is a valiant gesture. His lurid grin is even more fearsome than the birth of the abomination within him. Are we about to immediately lose Saber? And so it is summoned. The thing born from the blood and entrails of a false serpent, unmistakably an assassin. Did I join in on someone already dying? Yes! Yes, you did. How you doing, Batra? What the hell? Its birthing cries resemble the chittering of insects. The insect that emerges from the swordsman's body greedily devours its womb. It cackles as it carves, chortles as it chews. Each bite of flesh, the dark insect becomes increasingly man-shaped, its unformed brain gaining human knowledge. I mean, Garrett earlier went to the store to get some things for my dogs. Hell yeah. What, like just food or like dog toys or stuff? The feast continues for half an hour. The new assassin studiously slurps up every last drop of blood, celebrating its birth in now spotless stone steps. Ew. Its only witness are the Corally? Its only witnesses are the corally chittering swarms of insects in the brush and the bright, voluminous moon. The shrill birthing cries fade. Dogfood mad scotcher. It is an ill moon. The white skull sneers at the scorched black night. So, Assassin died and then became reborn as something that isn't Assassin? From whatever the weird, gross thing that was in the basement of the church. I walk up the stone steps. Saber is already armed. Both of us are tense, expecting an enemy to attack at any moment. The stairway up to the mountain gate? The mountain gate is long and the breeze is pleasantly warm despite us being in the hills. According to Saber, this mountain has a barrier that repels servants. If they attempt to approach Ryodo Temple by any other path besides the gate, the barrier hurts them and reduces their magical energy. Therefore, the only way into Ryodo Temple is through, is up these stairs. I'm not confident on my pronunciation of Ryodo. Because this is, I feel like the way that this is romanized is not correct. Because I think this is supposed to be a long O sound, but I can't tell if it's supposed to be a long O sound or it's supposed to be an sound. Ryodo or Ryodu. But I think it's Ryodo.
てっきり待ち伏せてると思ったんだが、サーバントの気配しないよな、セイバー。
If it is romanticized correctly, it's very awkward. I don't like it.
ありません。この石段には私以外のサーバントは。
Suddenly, Saber halts and looks down.
セイバー、なんかあったのか？
いいえ、私の気のせいでしょう。刀らしきものが見えた気がしましたが、そのようなものはどこにもない。この山門に守り手はいません。境内に向かいましょう。
This is bad. Saber ascends the stone steps quickly. After a moment's confusion, I run after her. I think we're about to lose Saber. Inside, it's silent. The wind is strong. The shadows deep. It's terribly dark, even though the moon is out. I look up. The moon is out, all right. It glows brightly, illuminating the unlit temple grounds. Despite that, the area is engulfed in shadow.
セイバ
ー。ええ、様子がおかしい。ここまで踏み込んで反応がないなどありえません。それに、これは静かすぎる。
中を調べよう。 竜道寺は50人近い大所帯なんだ。こんなに静かなんてことがあるもんか。
I don't know, man. Have you guys been outside at night? It's pretty fucking quiet. I entered the temple with Saber. There's nobody around. After making sure the grounds are unoccupied, Saber and I head deeper into the buildings. What the fuck? Everybody inside is asleep. They show no signs of waking. They don't react even when I touch or pick them up. Every single one of the 50 or so monks is in a coma. All of them lie in a pleasant, dreamlike sleep, breathing steadily. I was wondering for the longest time what the fuck was happening at Ryodo Temple, that none of the monks here was doing anything. Of course, one of our classmates is among them. Issei Ryodo is asleep. I've only seen him so relaxed on a handful of occasions in the privacy of the student council office. So I guess Caster, while Caster's doing her thing, she puts them to sleep into like an uninterruptible sleep, and that's why Issei was like always tired in that one timeline. We move quickly through the wood-floored hallways. Saber senses him. She directs us toward the inner main shrine. The master behind this disaster must be lurking in the heart of the temple. We step into the main shrine. Suddenly, my eyes are greeted by scarlet blood all over the floor. The center of the shrine is drenched in red. There's a man on the floor. There's a pool of red spreading out from him. Maybe he was stabbed through the chest. The wound is fatal. He's lost too much blood to survive. He's already dead. He looks familiar, and he must be the master of the thing standing beside him. Yeah, no, we're losing Saber. Saber's about to sacrifice herself to get us out of here. We've lost her. The moment we walked in here, we were cooked. The servant stands there, staring down at her master's lifeless corpse. I'm assailed by the headache and an alarming unease. It isn't the gruesome scene that terrifies me, but that thing. That dagger is something bad. It doesn't matter, it stabbed through her. Saber doesn't seem to sense it, but somehow I can tell the power in that dagger is nothing good.
Caster!
Saber stands ready to fight. Caster, the purple-robed servant, doesn't react. It is because we've caught her by surprise, or because she was caught red-handed. Oh, sorry, that was a question. Is it because we caught her by surprise, or because she was caught red-handed? Saber slightly crouches, ready to attack Caster in a breath.
ダメだ、待て、セイバー。
シロ、なぜ止めるのです。今置いてキャスターを撃つ機会は。
そうじゃない。あの担当には触れるな。あれは魔術破りだ。もしかするとマスターとサーバントの契約だって立つかもしれない。
While I do appreciate it, I do find it a bit odd that other timeline versions of Shido just know what shit does. Like he read the script of the previous timeline and was like, oh yeah, that's what that does.
では、キャスターは自らのマスターを。
You don't know for sure if she killed her master, but it's clear to me that the dagger in her hand has an incomparable ability to dispel magic effects.
キャスター、貴様、主に手をかけたな。
Saber advances angrily. Caster turns to look at us. Her lifeless demeanor makes her look more wraith than a heroic weird phrasing, more wraith than a heroic spirit. Her sword flashes through the air. Saber's sword splits Caster's robe, shredding her clothes as she evades by bounding backwards.
そう、とどめを刺しに来たというわけね。誰の筋書きだか知らないけど、周到なこと。
Well, that sounds like she didn't have a choice but to attack her master, and that's why she's dead. That's why he's dead, rather.
黙れ。主を裏切った者の言葉など聞きたくもない。自らの行い。
私がマスターを殺した。総一郎様を私が。 それは愉快ね。ええ、こんなことになるのなら本当にそうしてしまえばよかった。
She coughs blood as she laughs. The black-clad mage conceals the strange dagger under her robe and thrusts a hand at Saber.
目障りよセイバー、主もろとも消え去りなさい。
There's nothing else to say. Watching Caster keenly, Saber swings her sword without hesitation. Caster can't beat Saber. Caster fades away. That clash couldn't even be called a fight. Caster may have outstanding magecraft, but it was completely ineffective against Saber's high magic resistance. Saber shrugged off Caster's barrage of spells and cut her down in a single blow.
キャスターは倒しました。マスター、指示を。
ああ、そうだな。これ以上ここにいても何もできない。病院の前に琴峰に連絡して後を任そう。昏睡してる人たちはそれで助けられるはずだ。
But there's no saving the dead man in front of us. Caster disappeared, leaving her master's body behind. His death would be buried in darkness. Tonight he took his last breath, and one day he would disappear from people's memories, his final fate unknown.
シロ。
分かってる。マスターはあと4人もいるんだ。立ち止まっている余裕はない。
I don't know, from Shido's perspective, that's kind of fucked up. Also, there's only 3 more? Wait, so we beat one yesterday. Assassin is gone, but they don't know that. And then Caster is gone. There's Berserker, Lancer, Archer, and then Saber. Well, then did they know Assassin's gone? Because they wouldn't know that. That's 7. That's Assassin's gone. Caster's gone. Oh, I'm forgetting Ryder. No, Ryder we already beat. Ryder, Caster, Assassin, gone. But they wouldn't know that, right? Okay, anyway, I'm overthinking this.
賢明です。気持ちはわかりますが、干渉は押しとどめてください。
Saber turns her back to on the shrine. I will at least burn the sight of the fallen corpse into my memory before I follow her. Wait. What was that?
シロ、どうしたのです。足を止めて。
いや、今なんか視線を感じたっていうか、誰かに見られてる気がしたっていうか。セイバーは感じなかったか？
いいえ、何も感じませんでした。この周囲に人がいないことは確認したはずです。シロの気のせいではないですか？
そうかな。セイバーがそう言うんなら間違いないか。
So I don't know about everybody else, but
きっと俺の勘違いだ。
I don't know about everybody else, but I am a highly anxious person. Saber earlier said she thought she saw something, and Shido is now saying he thought he felt something. That's two things that can't be that can't be. That's 2 separate things, right? So like at some point you would think, something's wrong.
では急ぎましょう。キャスターが倒れた今、昏睡していた人々も目を覚まします。私たちの姿を見られては面倒だ。
Like Saber should know that something is wrong, even if Shido doesn't necessarily know something is wrong. But these motherfuckers have never read a book or seen a movie. Something feels wrong, looks wrong, everything around you is wrong, you shouldn't be here. Exactly. She's right. Leaves a bad taste in my mouth, but this should put an end to the comas happening all over the city. I can chalk that up as a win at least.
わかった。すぐに山を降りて琴峰に連絡。あとは家に戻って今夜は休もう。
Saber nods in satisfaction and leaves the shrine. I ignore the nagging tingling from behind me and follow Saber. So, no. Don't. That's called instinct. You have that for a reason. Not all your instinct shouldn't be listened to all the time, but like in a situation like this, I would be trusting that shit. All that remains in the shrine are the quiet and the body of the former master. The lead actor exits the stage, leaving only a wordless corpse. Something consumes it. It leaves no body. The wooden floor becomes a bottomless swamp, its crimson mass spreading out to consume the man's unmoving body. It takes not only the man, but the thing he used to command. The soul, modeled after the servant Casper, falls to the black shadow. That is not how things should be. When a servant loses and disappears, it goes back to the Holy Grail. Something which violates this rule is subject to inevitable decay no matter how powerful it is. It cries without a sound. In anguish, it bubbles and churns until it finally devours the first person. Gross! It shuffles forward like a wave lapping on the shore. It has no voice to scream, so it expresses pain with its entire body. It has no words, no emotions. From the beginning, it was never equipped with such functions. And yet, it grieves. It laments its very being, like something that has become aware of its own existence for the first time. The clock strikes 2 a.m. A round trip from Rito Temple took its toll on me in spite of my daily training.
そうだ。セイバー、先に部屋に戻っていてくれ。
どこに行くのです、シロ。今夜はもう休むのではないのですか？
ちょっとな。すぐに戻るから心配すんな。俺だって疲れてるし、早く休みたい。
なるほど。さくらの容体が気になるのですね。
水を変えないとまずいだろ。セイバーこそちゃんと隣の部屋で寝てくれよ。襖も閉めてちゃんとしてないとダメなんだからな。
ああ、そうでしたね。同室でないのは不都合ですが、シローが強情を張るのではやむを得ません。言われた通り、隣の部屋で待機しましょう。
Tabor looks displeased. I'm not the only one who's being stubborn. I return to my bedroom, tortured by self-loathing.
午前3時。1時間も何やってたんだ。
That's what I want to ask you. How the fuck did you waste an hour? I sighed. There's only one reason I took so long. Sakura wasn't sleeping very well, so I spent time getting her more water and putting her covers back on. Well, then that's completely fine. It was an incredibly taxing job in more ways than one. Ah. That would have made it easier. And actually, I had my eyes closed the entire time, almost the entire time, so it wouldn't have made much of a difference. Not once did I give in to temptation and open them until my work was done. Like, again, I don't understand this whole entire, like, oh, I can't hold myself back. Like, she's fucking dying, brother. I cover my head with the sheets and drive out the invasive thoughts. Once I close my eyes, my mind goes blank. Let's see. Being this physically tired will help me fall asleep faster. It's red. At sunset, the cityscape seems dyed red. It reminds me of a bench covered in posters. Excuse me. Everything my feet and hands touch makes a warm, squelching sound. I continue down the asphalt road. When I look up, the buildings are dyed crimson. The steep walls seem like giant nails hammered from the sky to the earth. Can't run. The red sun declares, gazing down from the heavens. I walk alone through the streets. Shinto is dead quiet. Maybe everyone's hiding in wait, or perhaps there was never anyone here to begin with. Still, it hurts. The scarlet glow torment my eyeballs and make me dizzy. It's too empty out here. Am I the only one who missed some mass evacuation order? That would explain all the red. I should go home. He's waiting for me. Red? Is that Osaka? Even from afar, I can tell it's her. Nah, Osaka! She ignores me. She walks, her swaying hair long enough to touch the ground. I don't think her hair is that long, but cool. If she's wearing her uniform, then she must be on her way to school. Right after her. Osaka doesn't notice me. The gap between us doesn't shrink at all. She keeps walking while I keep running. I gradually fall even further behind. By the way, Osaka isn't walking at a particularly brisk pace. I'm running enough to breathe a little heavily, but she's still faster. The long-haired girl enters the school, like a fluttering butterfly. By the way, there's no one on campus. It's empty, unoccupied. The red-lit landscape is like a well-made candy diorama. Candy diorama? If the twilight glow grows any stronger, it'll melt them beyond recognition. Oh, you know what? This is kind of like the bounded field when it was turned on. When Ryder turned on the bounded field. By the way, I hear a girl laughing. Two young girls smile and play with each other. I see a vision of two beautiful sisters, so perfect for each other, they might as well be twins. I open the door and enter the classroom. By the way, why was I following her for no reason? It doesn't surprise me, nor do I feel any guilt. The two of them embrace each other like lovers. It's enough to make me doubt that they're both girls. Okay. We're just gonna ignore that entirely. Against the crimson backdrop, what they're doing seems only proper. But if there's one thing I'm curious about, it's that Mitsuzuri's arms hang limply at her sides, like a corpse. I was wrong. That isn't a hug. It's a meal. The praying mantis feeds on the butterfly. It giddily drains its prey of life. Mitsuzuri is like a wax model. With each second, her vitality is drained away. Osaka's eyes are warm and whimsical. Her face approaches Mitsuzuri's neck. She exposes Mitsuzuri's defenseless pale throat. Then, Osaka's lips. No. Teeth. The wax model's chest arches in tension. I try to go over to help her, but I might as well be wading through a swamp. I'll never make it in time. I simply watch as Tosaka purrs while she drinks, as Mitsuzuri goes weak at the knees. Does this mean that Tosaka's fucking... Does this mean that both of them are dead? Because Rin wouldn't do any of this, so that can't be her. And that kind of just means that she's dying, right? She licks her fingers. Her wet tongue seductively slithers around her fingers. Why did you have to say that twice? It's too alluring. I feel like I'm drowning in the thick air around her. Tosaka giggles, licking her fingers. The wet sound tickles my ears.
よかった。来てくれたのね、エミヤ君。
Her voice sounds so sticky and expectant. I'm so dizzy. It's like I'm inside a kaleidoscope. My mind is paralyzed, to say nothing of my limbs. Though, I should mention, I've long since lost control over my body.
どうしたの？私のことが怖い？エミヤ君。
At the moment, yes. I can't even move my head to respond. Her smile is irresistibly bewitching, yet so terrifying. I feel like I'll be caught and killed. I'm a winged insect caught in the spider's web. I can neither fight nor flee.
美味しかったわ、綾子は。
So she was eating after all. But still, why Mitsuzuri?
だってあなたを待つ間我慢できなかったんだもの。
The light seeps into her giggles. Osaka's hands reach out. For some reason, I imagine her... Can we use a different word than fucking slender? Jesus Christ. For some reason, I imagine her slender, supple arms coiling around my body like a snake. Her sweet scent envelops me and dominates my lungs.
次はあなたの番よ。
Osaka's limbs wrap around me. Her soft, feminine body drowns out the blaring alarm in my head. I feel like I'm crumbling in her. Sorry, I totally dyslexiaed the fuck out of that. I feel like I'm crumbling in her embrace. She brings her face close enough for our lips to touch. Her wet eyes invite me in. I feel like they probably used that word as well for the old version of this game. They probably did. Her breath is so thick, I'm going to suffocate in it.
今度はエミヤ君を食べてあげる。
Osaka's lips touch me, nibbling the side of my neck. They're warm and damp. My mind melts like candy under their tender touch. Sharp fangs pierce my skin. Osaka's biting me. Her teeth sink into my neck, just like with Mitsuzuri. There's no pain. I heard that spiders reading is hard. Anesthetize their prey before killing them. With the numbness also comes ecstasy. Her sucking lips and teeth feel so good, it's like I'm melting. You've said melting like 5 times. 6 times. My neck softly melts. Each time Tosaka drains a mouthful out of me, I feel my body turn to candy. You said that 3 times. My insides are being sucked down and replaced with honey that makes my body melt. It's 7 times. Jesus Christ. It seeps into my bones, muscles, and skin. See, the thing about writing, at least in my opinion, is that if you're going to write something and you're going to explain how it is, you cannot use the same way to describe it over and over again. It becomes repetitive. Like, it's taking me out of this moment. Seems like when they chose words, they kind of forgot the dictionary was a thing. I just think this feels like it's being translated. Like, this is like a direct translation, because I know the Japanese have a way of like writing in which they repeat themselves multiple times for emphasis. Think about like when Steins Gate happened, and we got that one particular note, and it just says "I failed" over and over again for like 4 pages. That's like there's a very Japanese way of writing, but if you're going to localize it, you have to do like Western writing tropes, I think, because this just seems repetitive for no reason. It's very annoying. It floods my throat. I can't even moan. It flows down from my neck, the unbelievable sensation beguiling me. Feels like a shoulder trouble and ecstasy as she drinks from my neck. She looks so pleased by the meal of red blood. My consciousness is coated in a messy, overlapping carpet of vertigo. Before I know it, I stop breathing. My blood is being drained before it can even reach my brain. In return, Tosaka's sweet, strong liquid invades my body. What the fuck is happening? While she nibbles at me, I hear a voice that doesn't belong. The voice numbs my melting brain. It's true enough that they had to not only translate it, but do you think people had time to actually try to rewrite everything to fit a Western audience without them reading the same words over 100 times? Yeah, I mean, I understand why it's there, and it's probably more like I appreciate generally speaking. I generally appreciate more authentic forms of like translation, but like for this particular circumstance, it's just annoying me. Like, it did not bother me when it happened in Steins Gate, but right here it's pissing me off.
暑いわね、エミヤ君。
She whispers, streaking me dry. A pump empties me out from the inside. In return, pleasure saturates my body, melting and turning it limp.
新鮮な血。息が良くってピチピチして。
That's a weird statement coming from you. Who is this actually? I'm at my limit. I have nothing else to give. My arteries are bone dry. I don't think I have even a drop of blood left to spare.
もっとまだ足りない。
She continues drinking. There shouldn't be anything left to drink, but I still hear Tosaka gulping. It's as if my life itself is being converted into blood. That makes sense. Then this meal isn't quite over yet. She keeps drinking and drinking. In the crimson-lit classroom, she drains me without end. My body melts beyond recognition, fading to oblivion as she sucks it all up.
素敵よ、エミヤ君。あなたならこのまま全部もらってあげる。
A woman's voice reverberates in my mind. I wither away. This desiccated while she whispers. Save the game? Yes, I would like to save the game. I don't remember her being a vampire, but I'm not saying that's a problem as a fellow vampire. That was apparently a dream, so that was a weird-ass fucking dream. Let's see. How did this happen? Tucked myself in, closed my eyes and said goodnight, but the next thing I knew, everything was red. Let's see. Fox-shaped keep peoples, keep that in mind for later. I shall. K24 on Twitch, how you doing? How you living? This is, if it wasn't clear, this is my first time playing this. Mom woke me up before the noise did. Okay, we're in the flashback of him in the burning building. It was so bright, even though it was still at night. Dad picked me up, then ran down the burning hallway. It's hard to breathe. I heard Mom's voice behind me. She told Dad not to go out on his own. He ruffled my hair and told me to wait outside. I nodded and did what he said. It hurts. Outside was the same as inside. Everyone was all red and my eyes hurt. So I closed my eyes and ran, trying to find somewhere that wasn't so hot. When I turned back to look, my house is already gone. Must be punishment for not following directions. My eyes hurt. I cry while I walk. I know I have to go home and wait, but I don't know where home is anymore. I stopped covering my face with my hand and looked up. I come face to face with it all for the first time. The town is burning in the distance. The fire won't go out. It's too late to change it now. How do you stop a fire like this? Like, I assume the fire department just comes and puts it out, right? But like, how? That's got to be a lot of fire trucks. This all happened 10 years ago. The flames burning from far away are so distant, not physically, but in time. My skin hurts. My throat burns with every breath. My body creaks with each movement of life. When I try to run away, my ankles twist, caught on something heavy like shackles. Even as a child, I somehow intuit that death of everyone around me is dragging my living self down with them. It's still hot. I claw my throat, my nose scratching in red. Each breath I suck inflicts stabbing pain in my burned esophagus. My eyeballs stop working and my brain begins to steam in my skull. See that? Like when we were talking about the other ways to write, like that he's melting, my brain becomes steam in my head. That was a good line. It's hot. It's hot. It's so hot. And here's the repetition thing that I was talking about before. Remember, this is hot, awfully hot. That's an awfully hot coffee pot, but it's cold, terribly cold. Past the boiling point and back to freezing temperature. My burning blood has already hardened and stopped. Everything I see is backwards, and it's hot, so it's cold. That's why it's so hot I'm losing my mind. However, what was the cause of it all? There's a black sun in the sky. Is this the first time he's actually remembering this, or did that happen in a previous timeline and I not? It didn't feel especially strange to me that the sun was out at night, or that it was black. After all, everything was crazy. It felt normal next to everything that was going on. And yet I ran away. I was so scared. The fire around me wasn't scary. Compared to that black shadow, getting burned to death felt only human, only natural. So I ran. I ran so far away. I knew that if it caught me, it would take me someplace even scarier. I look up at the sky in a daze. I know it'll rain eventually, and I slowly lower my upraised hand. Bro, Shido cannot catch a fucking break when it comes to sleep. He always has fucked up dreams. Slowly, I open my eyelids. Not quite fully awake. I stare back at the bedroom in a daze. Maybe think he took a funny pill and he's going through one hell of a trip of high off of his balls. Yeah, the nightmare he has every once in a while, I think. At least that's the way the game phrased it. But the fucking one with Rin, that shit was weird. Still lying on my back, I feel relieved. How many years has it been since I woke up from a dream feeling relieved? What about the other one? I murmur aloud, still feeling the heat on my cheeks. A long time ago, this nightmare used to haunt me and make me cry out at night. It happened 10 years ago. The memories were still fresh back then. Every time I went to sleep, I would find myself wandering in that inferno. I never imagined that I'd forget about it, especially while I was in the dream. When I fell asleep, it would all become real again. The sky that day, the burned odor in the air, and the inescapable wall of fire, and he did get therapy. Even now, I think that hasn't changed. But it isn't as raw anymore. With time, wounds heal and memories dull. For the last few years, all I really see when I dream about the fire is the color of red. Why would it come back again in vivid detail, even down to the smell of ash in the air after all this time? What was that? I don't know what that thing was, nor do I remember it. In fact, I didn't even see it. I want to throw up. Just thinking about it makes me dizzy. A circuit breaker flips in my mind, flips in my body, and tells me not to think about it any further. I'm drenched in sweat because of the nightmare. I don't want my sheets to soak it up and get all gross, plus my brain's in a fog. My arms feel sluggish. In fact, I can't put any strength into them. I can't even get up. Damn it. Even talking is a challenge. I slowly bring my hand up to my face and then realize it's pretty warm. That's a surprise. This is the first time I've ever caught a cold. I've lost count of the number of times I've been battered and bruised, but I've never gotten a common cold before. Is the perfect setting of sleep paralysis? It is kind of, isn't it? Yeah, that makes sense. I can't think straight, so it's a little wonder I have a dream or two. Whoa, 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 what am I lying around for?
なんでどうしてどのように
My friend took this sit up. Then I check under the covers. This is hardly time to be worrying about feeling sluggish or tired. If anything happened, then I need to run to the bathroom in the morning and destroy the engine. My first priority is to purify myself and then exercise my right to silence. To be frank, Shido's stock in the Amiya household is in free fall.
別にそういうことはないようです。
Thank God. My entire body is drenched in sweat, but there isn't really anything else off about it.
夢だよな。そうだ。だってあんなの夢だし。
There's no way I went to school while I was asleep, and I've never done anything that crazy with Osaka. My subconscious went there all on its own. After all, I'm still in the clothes I was wearing when I went to bed. Saber's been in the room next door the entire time.
そうだよな。俺が出歩いてたら、セイバーが気づかないはずがない。
If she was asleep too, that's not necessarily true. I sigh in palpable relief. For once, the tension drains from my body and I dramatically fall back onto the floor.
シロ、どうしました？今音がしたようですが。
Maybe she would have, I don't know. I hear Saber's voice behind the sliding door. Let's see. Even that was enough to get her attention, so it had to be a dream. Yep, a dream. It was absolutely positively a dream. If it wasn't, then I don't know how I'll look this Osaka in the eye ever again.
シロ、
いや、おはよう、セイバー。
どうしたのですシロ。横になったまま挨拶をするなど、あなたらしくもない。
いや、ちょっと不測の事態が起きて。
When did that one song called It's All a Dream? Saber looks puzzled. I'm thanking my lucky stars that it was only a dream, but now I have to confront a different trial. I feel slow and I can't even stand up, so how am I supposed to make breakfast? I was thinking about her, you would think about me.
シローが風邪ひくなんて珍しいわね。
She casually gives me my diagnosis, thermometer in one hand. I already figured that it was the case, so it doesn't come as a surprise, but as a cold would make me feel this heavy, huh?
それで痛いとこは他にある？喉が痛いとか頭痛いとか。
いや、別にそういうのはないよ。体が重くて熱っぽいだけなんだけど。おかしい。
Sorry.
痛いところがないんならその方がいいかな。あ、けどシローは我慢しちゃう子だから気づいてないだけかもしれないか。念のため他の薬も用意しとく。
Fujini takes some cold medication and cough drops out of the first aid box. She has an reading is hard. She's an old hand at patching up lacerations and the like, but it looks like she isn't used to treating illness like this.
Thank you, 無事ね。それとごめん。朝飯作れそうにない。
You probably shouldn't make breakfast anyway, even if you did have the ability to, because that would make everyone else sick.
バカなこと言ってないの。シローと朝ごはんどっちが大切だと思ってんのよ。セイバーちゃんが呼んでくれたからよかったものの、いつも通りご飯作ってたら本当に雷落としたんだから。
She growls in sincere anger. She's right, obviously.
それとご飯なら心配いらないからね。さくらちゃんがおかゆ作ってくれたから、お腹が減ったら食べなさい。
さくらがおかゆ？
She must be feeling better then.
さくら、体の方はいいのか？俺より辛そうだったじゃないか。
はい、ちゃんと熱は引きましたから心配はいりません。夜も怖くなかったし、ぐっすり眠れちゃいました。これも先輩が見てくれたおかげです。
Phrasing. Oh, that's good. I thought it would take longer, but I'm relieved that it took her only a night to recover.
そっか、忘れてた。昨日はさくらちゃんが風邪ひいてたんだっけ？
そうだけど、なんだよ。その顔、すごくよこしまな感じがするんでやめてくれ。
もしかしてシロー、 さくらちゃんの風が移るような真似しちゃったの。
Unfortunately, that's not how colds work, but that is funny.
はあ？さくらの風が移るってどうしてさ？
あれわからない？さくらちゃんの熱は下がってるんでしょ？ならシローがなんかしたんじゃないの？昔から風邪は人に移すと治るって言うし。
I look at Sakura, not understanding. Finally, I realize what Fujini's running her mouth on about.
バカかあんた。昨日は熱上がって薬出しただけだ。冗談でもそういうの気にしたしない。止まってくれたさくらに失礼じゃんか。
I feel myself blushing furiously. I imagine my 37-degree fever just climbed to 38.
なんてね、わかってるわよそんなの。シローにはそんな解消ないもんね。
I mean, that's true. He literally did not figure it out.
なんかそれはそれでムカつくけど、誤解が解けたんならそれでいい。
よしよし、それじゃ欠席届は出しとくから、今日はゆっくり休んでること。セバちゃん、
Then I got the
シロ
shadow
ーをよろしく
route.
ね。この子ほっとくと何でもしちゃうから、布団に縛り付けておいて。
元よりそのつもりです。シローが起き出さぬよう監視をし、食事を与えればいいのですね。
I should have said I got to the Holy Grail.
うわ、なんか物騒な言い回しだけど間違ってないからいっか。セーバーちゃん、その通りにお願い。
Saber nods. Is it just me or did I get a vague feeling of danger?
じゃあセーバーちゃんの言うことちゃんと聞いて、私たちが帰ってくるまでおとなしくしてるのよ。夕ご飯は精のつくもの買ってきてあげるから、それまでに体を治しておくこと。
Fujini nods with a smile at the impossible mission she's giving me. Behind her, Sakura looks downcast, like she wants to say something that's weighing on her mind. どうしたSakura-chan?
行ってきまーす。お土産期待しててねー。
Souvenirs. You're going to school. Fujini waves goodbye and leaves for work. I see Fujini up and then go back to bed. All I did was go from my bedroom to a porch, but the effort made me so short of breath I collapsed right back into bed. My fever isn't that high, but evidently I'm physically exhausted. Fujini's right. I won't be able to do much until I recover my strength in bed. Then, Sakura comes to my room, even though it's already past 7:30.
さくら、どうした？もう7時半だぞ。そろそろ登校しないと間に合わないんじゃないか。
Sakura awkwardly avoids meeting my gaze. Just that I notice that she's making the same expression as earlier when she looked like she wanted to say something.
先輩、私ここに残っちゃいけませんか？
She looks up and asks me a question. She means staying home from school, right?
もしかしてさくらもまだ熱があるのか？
No, idiot. She wants to take care of you.
いえ、熱はもう引いてます。ただ、
She hesitates like it's hard to say. She does still look pale, and it isn't reasonable to expect her to fully recover overnight after how badly she looked yesterday.
そっか、さくらも風邪気味だったもんな。けど大丈夫か？欠席届とか出さないで。
はい、スルーしちゃおうかなって。
That might be good for you every once in a while. She means skipping class by pretending to be sick?
なんでさ、さくらは風邪ひいてるんだから別にずる休みってわけじゃないだろう。熱があるなら部屋で寝てないといけないんだから。
ですから、
Our poor protagonist is so dumb. What? I understand even less now. What Sakura's trying to say?
そのですね、先輩が風邪をひいたのって私のせいだと思うんです。
なんだ、藤姉のたわごと真に受けてんのか？大丈夫、そんなことはないって。俺最近は夜になると散歩しててさ、それで勝手に風邪ひいたんだよ。
それでもいいです。私は元気で、昨日のお礼というか
You got the intelligence of a subreddit. He just doesn't.
しちゃいたいんです。
All anime protagonists that are in situations like this are like, for whatever reason, they're not like understanding that the situation has anything to do with them. And usually they're written this way because they don't understand that they don't have the experience, so they don't understand that that's what's happening. They literally have never been in the situation before, so obviously they're dense, right? The problem comes in is that nobody explains to them that's the situation that they're in. But yeah, no, he's literally never been in a situation where a girl wants to take care of him, so he's like, I don't understand what the issue is. I don't get it. But he's also apparently never read a fucking book, so apparently Sakura feels responsible for my illness. And if I'm being honest, I would feel better having her around. Saber needs to sleep, and it would be easier for me if Sakura could prepare the medicine.
先輩。
それじゃあ頼む、Sakura.
Benson cannot read a book. Interesting.
そうですよね。先輩にはセイバーさんがいるし、私が残っても何も。で、先輩？
だから看病を頼むよ、Sakura。
私ですよね。
This is again him being dense because he says something incredibly he's saying something incredibly direct without realizing it.
情けないんだが、Sakuraが昼飯とか作ってくれると助かる。
私、精一杯頑張りますね、先輩。
Sakura's expression transformed into a sunny smile. Her earlier nervousness is gone. Yeah, the smile looks better on her face. Time passes. It's now 10 a.m. I feel much better ever since eating Sakura's porridge. The sluggishness I felt this morning is gone. It doesn't impede my movement, and I think I could go to school if I wanted. However, I wonder if this wasn't a cold after all, but maybe the result of serious malnutrition. Just as I make to get out of bed...
ダメです。先輩、熱が下がるまで絶対安静ですからね。
Sakura rushes over and pushes me down. Damn. And Sakura seems so enthusiastic she made me breakfast, and I still feel pretty slow, so I decided to stay laying down. After feeding me okayu, what the fuck is okayu? I'm googling it, hold on. Oh, it's just rice porridge. That's probably just the word for it then. Yo, honestly, the one that I'm looking at has like an egg boiled in it, and it looks really fucking good. After feeding me okayu, she leaves, saying that she has something else to do. Saber's resting in the living room. She was leaning in the corner of my room until just earlier, but it was making me nervous, so I asked her to move to the living room. She protested naturally, but I convinced her to take up a different guard post just for today.
失礼します。お体の調子はどうですか、先輩？
おかげさまで良くなってるよ。体のだるさはまだあるけど、熱はもう下がってる。
よかった。それじゃあもうお薬はいりませんね。あとは美味しいものを食べてゆっくり休んでいれば安心です。
Sakura goes into the room next door and brings out a new futon.
Sakura, 何してんだ？
何って新しいお布団ですよ。先輩はずっと汗をかいてたんですから、そろそろ変えないといけないかなって。
She lays out the futon next to mine, patting it flat in a practiced motion. To my surprise, there isn't any dust at all.
はい用意できました。どうぞ先輩、こちらに移ってください。あ、その前に着替えですね。私はお布団を干してきますから、新しい寝巻きに着替えておいてください。
Sakura's really dedicated to take care of him. She's got the housewife thing down. After the futon, Sakura brings out a stack of clean sleepwear. Such flawless nursing. This goes beyond mere experience or thoughtfulness.
遺伝子だ。きっと遺伝子にそういうスキルが備わってるんだ。
先輩、何か言いました？
It's like the whole 9 yards, indeed.
不謹慎だけど、さくらが休んでくれてよかったって。正直、さくらのことを見直しちまった。
当然ですよ。もうじき1年半ですからね。先輩のお家のことはちゃんと分かっているんです。
That's the cutest thing. This is the cutest expression she's ever had. She's so proud of herself. Sakura proudly puffs at her chest. Her confidence and positivity feel infectious.
そっか。じゃ、布団は任せた。ここは行為に甘えて、病人らしく言うこと聞いてる。
はい、任せてください。布団を干し終わったらリンゴ剥いてきますから、期待して待っていてくださいね。
I don't know about you guys, chat, but I think apples, they have a cliche where they eat apples when they're sick. I think apples would make me feel worse. Sakura goes into the hallway carrying the futon I've been sleeping in.
うわ、一気に全部持っていったな、さくら。
Impressed by her high spirits, I change into the pajamas she brought me. Sutei? I dry myself off with the towel, changing the... Why wouldn't you not just take a bath? Changing the clean pajamas and obediently get back into bed to wait for Sakura. How long is all this taking, I wonder? Sakura peels me an apple as promised, and I enjoy snacking on it, and...
もう無理は禁物ですよ、先輩。
I'm not? She scolds me even though I feel better now, so I lie back down.
で、セイバーが手伝ってくれたのか。
はい、何もしていないのも疲れるからって。おかげで客間のお掃除もできて助かりました。
Oh, it's like Saber peeled apples?
そっか。雑巾を絞るセイバーってのも見たかったな。こうダダーッと客間の廊下を雑巾がけしたのか。
はい、2人で一緒に頑張りました。セイバーさん、これはこれで参考になるなんてこと言ってましたけど。
Sakura smiles, looking slightly troubled. She might have gotten used to Saber, but she still seems to be getting used to dealing with her.
うん。ともあれご苦労様。けど、あんまり無理するなよ。さくらだって病み上がりなんだ。俺の世話だけでも大変なんだから、掃除まですることないぞ。
そんなことありません。ここで朝を過ごして夕方もご飯を食べさせてもらっているんです。ならお掃除をするのは当然ですよ。私だってこの家の一員なんですから。
Part of this family too, Sakura murmurs under her breath, not wanting to sound rude by wishing it was true. That is so cute.
そうだった。俺もさくらも藤姉も家族みたいなもんだった。
先輩、
遠慮して悪かった。家族なら看病ぐらい当然だもんな。俺だってさくらが倒れたらどんなに嫌がられても看病する。だから遠慮なんてする方がバカだったんだ。
I apologize. The conversation stops. I feel like she's gonna die. After a moment of surprise during which Sakura held her breath,
はい、分かってもらえたのならいいです。先輩はちょっと人のことを大切にしすぎだと思います。
I hope I'm wrong, but I feel like Sakura is going to fucking die. She smiles happily and straightens out my sheets for me. It made me realize something, finally. How beautiful this house is. The reason we've been tending to the unused rooms without even really thinking about it, how lively and lived in it feels, just like when my old man was still around. My underclassman at school, my friend's little sister. That's what Sakura was to me when we first met, but she's been protecting this home even more than I have. For the last year and a half, the days were truly peaceful. I took it for granted so much that I never noticed. Sakura brought me and Fuchini something that we never could have obtained on our own. Absently, I look up at Sakura. Maybe it's because I still have a slight fever or because Sakura looks so happy taking care of me. When I see her smile, it warms me up inside and makes me sleepy. I'm pretty sleepy. It feels nice. I feel bad for sleeping until lunchtime, but for now, I'll close my eyes.
けど先輩、私は先輩のそういうところが大好きです。
I didn't hear it because I'm the protagonist and I'm going to sleep.
Eh?
I think she just said something that would send my heart aflutter.
Sakura.
先輩、
Oh no, we totally heard it.
起きてたんですか？
Sakura backs away from me in a panic. If she reacts like that, it only makes me blush. In fact, I'm more worried I'm going to spike another fever.
その、Sakura。
何も言ってません。私、何も言ってませんから。顔を覗き込んだのはですね。熱、そう、熱を測ろうって思ったんです。
Alright, chat, roll. Roll for deception. This work? This is blatant and obvious lie work. She hastily takes out the thermometer and limps over me.
先輩、体温計です。熱を測りますから、加えてください。
The thermometer inches threateningly towards me. Its holder losing her composure. I feel something squishy. It only bruised me, but that was Sakura's chest. Brushed me. I'm gonna ask Pixie to roll a d20 for deception. Don't do it, but it would be really funny. My brain reaches a boiling point. Sanity begins to crack under the strain of forbidden memories springing back to my mind, and the sensation of the all-too real female.
待て、Sakura! ちょっと弾!
I make a last-ditch effort to roll out of bed. My body slides out of the futon. My first priority is to get away from those from Sakura.
先輩、お熱を測りたいんですけど。
いい、それぐらい自分でやるから、Sakuraはそこでストップ。
先輩がそういうのでしたらいいですけど。はい、それじゃあ体温計。
ダメ！今はダメ。頼むから落ち着かせてくれ。今近づかれると昨日の夢がぶり返して死んじまう。
This is a good way to roll yourself into a fucking, into a bad situation. We'll see what happens. I make a stop sign gesture and my face is beet red. But
昨日の夢ですか?
You cannot explain to her what happened. Just tell her to ignore it, pretend nothing happened. I must be acting really weird because Sakura suddenly gives me a dubious look.
その、たちの悪い夢を見たんだ。できれば思い出したくないんで、今はそっとしといてくれ。言っとくけど、Sakuraが悪いわけじゃないぞ。俺が修行不足なだけだ。
はあ、修行不足ですか?
Sakura watches me vacantly. Anyone would after hearing something like that.
先輩、その夢、一体どんな夢だったんですか?
You by absolutely no means can explain this dream to her. I do know that those are real, but no, she did mention sticking the thermometer in his mouth. Like hell I can answer that.
別にそう大した夢じゃない。ただ、たちが悪かっただけだ。
先輩?
Sakura, as I become concerned. I can't lie to her, but I also can't tell the truth. So I... Fucking Christ, man, you gotta play this off. You can't just tell her what happened. Especially after hearing what just happened, or what she just said to us. Oh, that's a much better tire. That. All right, we'll see. We'll see what the flowchart says. You cannot tell her. It doesn't seem like this is actually like a love choice, but I would fucking tell her. There's a time and a place for complete honesty. Just thinking back to that dream was enough to make me blush, and if I described it out loud, I'm pretty sure I'd pass out from ensuing fever.
先輩、誰が出てきたんですか？
誰って別に誰も出てきてない。ほら、夢なんてのは目が覚めた途端に忘れるものなんだから、いつまでも覚えてないっていうか。
そうなんですか？なら覚えてる範囲でいいですから知りたいです。
She suddenly gets more aggressive, closing in on me after I've retreated from my futon.
だから今近寄るのはダメ。頼むから勘弁してくれ。この話は禁止禁止禁止。
I wave my hands in the air frantically and roll onto the ground. Damn it, I really do need to train more. Until now, I've always managed to not be too conscious of her, but thanks to that damn dream, every single move Sakura makes is setting me off.
いいからしばらく一人にさせてくれ。病人の願いは聞くべき。
I'm sure the quote-unquote correct answer was to tell her what happened, but I'm not gonna do that. I take up position in a corner of the room and entreat Sakura.
わかりました。無理には聞きません。本当は聞きたいですけど、これ以上無理させたら熱が上がっちゃいますから。
Sakura retreats in disappointment.
面目ない。心中させてくれて助かる。
I eagerly return to bed.
それじゃあ先輩、お昼の支度がありますから失礼します。支度が済んだら呼びに来ますから、それまで安静にしててくださいね。
うん、お昼よろしく頼む。
はい、おかしなこと聞いてすみませんでした。お昼はあったかいおうどんにしますね。
Yeah, I'm sure the correct option was to actually tell her, but like, as far as like an overall plot situation, but what fucking like what would make you do that? What would make you hurt that girl like that? The girl is made of sunshine. Like, I cannot do that to her. She shuts the door with a soft thud. Sakura leaves me with her usual gentle smile and heads off to the living room. If you're watching this far and you're in the YouTube video, you should hit the like button. It is free.
ごちそうさまでした。
We usually thank our cook. Is this on the next part of the thing? Oh, this is the love choice. Interesting.
お粗末様でした。先輩もセーバーさんも綺麗に食べてくれましたね。
Wait, so there must be some kind of difference here, right? Bitter Sakura. So I'm assuming in terms of how the game works, right? Going this direction will give us a specific choice for hanging out with Sakura, and going this route will have us go a specific route for basically different options going on based on how we interact here. So I guess we'll see how that works. Sakura starts cleaning up. On the dining table are a clay pot, 3 bowls, and all the garnishes you would need for udon. Udon is so good.
熱も下がったし、それぐらいしないと。
Is she gonna yell at us again?
そうですか。それじゃあ体力検査ということでお願いしちゃいますね。洗い物は私がやりますから、先輩は食器運びとテーブル周りの後片付けをやっちゃってください。
Sakura puts on her apron and moves to the kitchen. I'll bring the clay pot and bowls over them.
シロ、体は大丈夫なのですか？熱は下がったと聞きましたが、顔色はまだ悪いではないですか？
ね、何？顔青いのか、俺。
いえ、青いというのではなく悪いのです。マスター、魔術師にとって生命線ともいえる魔力が不足している。昨夜の戦闘ではシローに負担をかけた覚えはありませんが、あの境内そのものに魔力を吸い上げる仕掛けがあったのかもしれません。
Now that she mentions it, Burrito Temple did feel off somehow. All the people inside were weakened, so maybe Caster set up a bounded field to drain life energy from the humans inside.
まあ、体は元気になったから問題ないさ。魔力だって栄養を取れば戻る。俺の魔力量なんてたかが知れてるんだから、ちゃんと夕飯を食べれば戻るだろう。
当事者であるあなたがそう言うのならこれ以上追求しませんが、まったくさくらの言う通りです。シローはどうも自分のことをないがしろにしている節がある。
Saber stacks the 3 balls while saying that.
さくらに渡せばいいのですね。そちらの鍋も私が運びますから、シローはテーブルを拭いていてください。
She heads to the kitchen without waiting for my reply.
さくら、食器はここに。
あれ、セイバーさん。あ、はい。洗い物はそこに置いといてくださ
い。なるほど。それとさくら、先ほどの昼食は美味でした。朝に続いて感謝します。
私なんてまだまだです。おかゆとおうどんは先輩の独壇場ですからね。
I heard a cheerful conversation from the kitchen.
なんだ、さくらのやつ、セイバーと仲いいじゃんか。
Maybe they hit it off while they were cleaning up after breakfast. Anyway, it's good to see them get along.
じゃ、食後のお茶の準備でもしてるかな。
I place a small teapot and tea leaves on the table. It's almost 1 o'clock. It's the perfect time for an after-lunch break. Hi. Why would we go out? Actually, give me 1 second. I have to use the bathroom. Okay, I return. And I have a weird decision in front of me.
Welcome back.
Thank you. Well, you just ate, so I don't know why you would have a snack. Let's just relax in front of the TV. Well, we didn't get any points with anybody. I should take it easy and relax after a meal. Brain power gets diverted to digestion after a meal anyway, and above all, I'd like to have tea after I eat. I feel bad for doing this while the other two are washing dishes, but Saber and Sakura seem to be getting along in the kitchen. They don't have anything in common to talk about, so working on house chores together is building trust.
なんだ、息合ってるじゃないか、二人とも。
I watch them while I relax in the living room. I turn on the TV, which shows the typical daytime programming for housewives. I let the atmosphere soothe my body and mind and simply rest without doing anything else. After my break, I feel much better. My fever seems to have been due to fatigue, so I'm back to normal after resting for half a day.
ではシロ、午後は鍛錬に使うのですね。
I nod at Saber. That's a weird thing to do. Even though I've just gotten over an illness, I don't want to waste time. I can't improve my magecraft in a few days, but I can work on my combat skills. Having Saber train me until dinner should be a good use of my time. It's been a few hours since I started training. My sparring with Saber can't be likened to Kendo. To begin with, Saber isn't trained in Kendo, and it seems like she has no intention of teaching me swordplay. No, what Saber is literally pounding into me is combat itself. She's getting me used to fighting for my life, so I'll be able to maintain my composure and physical performance in a mortal battle against another master. This was Saber's idea, and I'm merely extremely grateful for each crash course. I won't be able to improve my swordsmanship even enough to matter in 1 or 2 days. Shido Miya could only rely on the body he's trained until this day. Yeah. If I gain enough experience to respond to a life or death situation, that'll be the surest weapon of all.
そこ
And as you expect, the instant I'm distracted by my thoughts, Saber nails me squarely in the chest from a thrust from her shinai.
シロ、射程外に退避したことで気が緩むようでは話になりません。今のあなたの実力では周りの外も内もない。今のように気を緩めるのはこの家にいる時だけにしなければ。
Tracy, thank you for redeeming first. And for officially being first. I cough as I get up, rubbing the spot where she stabbed me.
シロは驚くほど鋭い時もあれば呆れるほど好きだらけの時もある。その揺らぎをうまく制御できれば。
Suddenly, Saber looks away.
どうしたセイバー、なんかあったのか？
いえ、縁側で桜が手を振っています。どうやらシロを呼んでいるようですが。
Good, yeah, happy Thursday, happy Thursday. I feel like I'm making poor decisions as far as the game's going. But, there is no way I could tell fucking the main girl of this route that we had a lewd dream about someone else, even if it wasn't really all that lewd. Sakura was trying to stop our training because she couldn't bear to watch me get my butt kicked any longer. When I turned her away, she went back to the living room looking bored.
ちょっと今に行ってくるけど、いいかな、セイバ
ー。はい。鍛錬を始めて2時間ですから、少し休憩を入れましょう。
助かる。じゃあ、ついでに茶でも入れてくるよ。
I think he actually said chai instead of ocha.
先輩。
That's a weird look. I hurry to the living room and see Sakura standing in front of the telephone.
そのお電話です。さっきから待っていますから、どうぞ。
Hold on, my water is over there. Let me grab that real quick. Sakura steps away from the phone.
こんな時間にか。
Doujin? I pick up the receiver, expecting her to ask me to bring something she left at home.
はい。
もしもし。
お電話変わりました。エミヤですが。
Is it Tosaka?
エミヤですがじゃない。
Yep.
あんた何無断で学校休んでんのよ。
Why is she mad? The speaker roars in my ear. Actually, there must be some crazy magecraft at work to make such a small speaker fill the room with her shouting. My ears ring and my head throbs.
聞いてる？エミヤ君、本当に無事なんでしょうね。
聞いてるから、もうちょっと声を小さくしてくれ。あと1回続いたら鼓膜が破れる。
相変わらずっていうか、ずれてるっていうか、とにかくその様子じゃ何もなかったみたいね。はあ、心配して損したわ。
そりゃご苦労様だったな。で、要件はなんだよ。いきなり電話してきて、なんかあったのか？
なんかあったのはそっちでしょ。あんた昨日あれだけ忠告したのに竜道寺に行ったでしょ。
なんでそんなことを知ってんだよ、お前。
見張り役を置いといたからよ。まあその様子じゃ何もなかったみたいね。学校にいなかったから、ちょっと良くない想像したっていうか。
はあ、つまり俺がやられちまったと？
そうよ。 ズタズタにされて裏山に埋められたのかと思った。
That's a lot worse than a little mishap.
おあいにくさま。こっちはピンシャンじゃなくて、今にも死にそうだが、なんとかやってる。で、要件はなんだよ、遠坂。
That's what she wanted. She wanted to check on you.
だからそれは。
腹の探り合いはいいって。あ、要件って竜道寺のマスターのことだろう。それなら倒した。いや、もういなかった。竜道寺のマスターは自分のサーバントキャスターに裏切られてたんだ。で、その後は
I shouldn't say anything. I've been speaking in a low voice, but Sakura is still behind me. I shouldn't mention anything shocking like people dying.
とにかく竜道寺にはもうマスターもサーバントもいない。聞きたいことってそれだろ。
そうよ、分かってるじゃない。
じゃ、切るぞ。今特訓中でな。とにかく体中が痛い。
When I ended with the later, it moved to replace the receiver.
ちょっと待った。
なんだよ。もう用はないだろ。
あるわよ。いいから明日は学校に来なさいよね。
We're going to die.
話があるんだから。
Slam, beep beep. The collar violently hangs up. So Tosaka. That's so Tosaka!
昨日は言ったら怒ったくせに、今日は恋だなんて勝手なやつだ。
I return the phone receiver to its base. I turn around to go back to the living room and finish making tea. But Sakura is in my way.
さくら？どうした？気分悪いのか？
いや、熱なんてありません。ただ、先輩、すごく嬉しそうだったから、どうしたのかなって。
Me? Happy? Is she saying I was happy that Tosaka called me?
まさか、俺怒ってるんだけど。
だからです。先輩。
Will we be smiling during that conversation? Sakura awkwardly avoids meeting my eyes. I'm still confused, but I take the chance to finish making tea for 3. I feel like I've done something wrong. By the time training is over, everything outside is stuffed into dark red light. It's suffused in dark red light.
先輩、プリの下ごしらえ終わりました。あとはかぼちゃとトマトですね。
My curiosity is killing me. I'm gonna go back and do other things. Oh, actually, I should probably mark this down.
こうダダーッと客間の廊下を雑巾がけしたのか。
はい、二人で一緒に頑張りました。セイバーさん、これはこれで参考になるなんてこと言ってましたけど。
What happens if we don't lie to her? Normally, I don't think I'd do this. No, whoa, what the fuck, chill. I don't think I'd do this normally, but I'm curious. There's no helping it now. I'll tell her the facts without giving away too much.
先輩、誰が出てきたんですか？
いや、出てきたのは遠坂だけなんだが。
She immediately lures me into spilling the beans. See, this is why I didn't want to do it. Look how sad she is.
この前ここに来たんでしたっけ？
うん。すぐに帰ったけど、手当てしてもらった。
Cold smile, bitter Sakura. I'd rather her be bitter.
わかりました。それじゃあ体温計、ここに置いていきますね。
Yeah, no, that's definitely worse. What about this? I want to make sure the route's correct. Now if we want points with Sakura, wouldn't we want to have a snack? Because that way she'll make it for us.
あ、そうだ、確か。
I brought some dorayaki the other day on impulse. The little pancakes filled with red bean jam. I've actually had dorayaki. It's really good. I hid them so Fujini wouldn't eat them right away, but nearly forgot about them too.
先輩、冷蔵庫開けて何するんですか？
ちょっとな。さくらに少しだけお返ししようと思って。
I dig through the lowest part of the refrigerator, beneath all the vegetables. It's a hiding place I've used for years, burying the treats deep enough that Fujini won't find them, but not so deep that they won't be discovered before their expiration date.
あれ？先輩、どうして野菜入れから江戸前屋さんの紙袋が出てくるんですか？
Sakura stares at the paper bag with a mixture of surprise and anticipation. By the way, Indeomeya is a bakery at the shopping district. They're famed for their taiyaki buns, dorayaki pancakes, and takoyaki octopus bites. The prices are low enough that even kids can afford to eat there. So I wish I could get takoyaki all the damn time, man. And it's incredibly popular with the students at school thanks to their customer service and generous proportions of red bean jam. On top of that, I know Sakura is very fond of their taiyaki.
いっぱい入ってますね。てっきりじゃがいもを補充したのかなって思ってましたけど。
ああ、そういう風にカモフラージュしたんだよ。隠した俺も忘れそうだったんで、人参使い切ったら出てくるようにセットしといた。
I take out the ticking time bombs as far as Fujini is concerned.
そんなわけで、食後のお茶受けは江戸前屋のどら焼きにしよう。あ、それとも3時の間食にした方がいいかな。昼食べたばっかりだし、さくらもセイバーもしばらく食欲ないだろ。
In any case, I put the bag of dorayaki on a tray so that we don't forget about it.
先輩はお腹いっぱいなんですか？
いっぱいだよ。昼飯うまかったから2食分は食べたし、ちょっとしばらくは腹減らないかな。
That was actually kind of scary, actually. That was a little terrifying, actually.
じゃあ、お楽しみは後に取っておくということで。
後にするのですか？私は十分余力を残していますが。
Was anyone else terrified by that? The music cut out and she stared at us. That was mildly terrifying.
お、なんだ。セイバーはまだ食欲あるんだ。さくらと同じくらい食べたのにすごいな。
食欲というよりは興味です。糖分は分かりやすい活力源ですし、どら焼きという和菓子は初めて聞くものですから。
I think I missed it. Basically, all that happened was like this music was playing, right? We said, what did we say exactly? Are you full? We said I'm stuffed. Lunch was so good I had seconds. I don't think I'll be hungry for a while. And then she just stared at us while blushing, but the music cut out. Like, the framing of that was mildly terrifying. And then it continued on like it didn't happen. Like, it was like some Doki Doki Literature Club shit. Now I get it. Saber's a European, so desserts such as dorayaki and yokan must be
そ
curiosities.
っか。じゃあお茶受けとして出すよ。セイバー一人で食べきれる量じゃなし、余った分を3時のおやつに回せばいい。
先輩、つかぬことをお聞きするんですけど、買ってきたどら焼きは何個くらいなんでしょうか？
確か5つだったかな。1人1個が基本で、残ったのは半分にして分けるか、余裕のあるやつに食べてもらう気でいたけど。
なるほど。その計算では最大で3つ食しても良いと。
けどこんな甘いもん3つも食ったら胸焼けするぞ。まあセイバーなら3つぐらい食べられるだろうけど。
I take the tray back to the living room. To show my appreciation for the two people doing the bulk of the cleaning, I ready the dorayaki and tea.
終わりました。それがどら焼きですね、シロ。
She's already here. Saber is seated on the cushion, eyeing the tea tray hungrily. Sakura also finishes washing the dishes and gracefully sits down next to us.
さくら、どうした？なんかあったのか？
何もないです。私、先輩と一緒でお腹いっぱいですから。
Why? I don't really get it, but I poured the 3 cups of tea anyway.
それではいただきます。
With a brief formality, Saber reaches for the dorayaki. The bout is over in an instant. After a hesitant first bite, Saber wordlessly takes a second and third bite of the dorayaki. The sweetness doesn't seem to bother her, and she continues unabated until she completely devours the first dorayaki. Those aren't really that big.
なるほど。単純な料理ですが、お茶に合う味ですね。
She takes another graceful sip of tea and reaches unerringly for a second dorayaki. Sakura anxiously watches this all happen. Wait, is Sakura fidgeting because...
確かに、これは食後の口休めとはいきませんね。
Saber munches on a second treat, then reaches for a third.
待った、セイバー。やっぱり食べるのは2つでやめといてくれ。
はい。元より余る分を受け持っただけですから、それは構わないのですが。残りはシロが食べるのですか？
うん。俺とサクラで食べるよ。俺が1個、サクラが1個で、最後の1つは。
I tear the third dorayaki in half.
こうして分けようかなった。サクラ、これぐらい食べられるだろ？
はい、もちろんです。今すぐにでも食べられます。
I knew it. Sakura was trying to be polite. She's always ready for a dorayaki or two.
じゃ、俺たちも食べようか。セイバーの食べっぷりを見てたら食欲出てきた。はい、
賛成です。これくらい簡単に片付けちゃいますね。
Sakura picks up a dorayaki enthusiastic. She loves dorayaki, though not quite as much as taiyaki. I've never had taiyaki. I wonder if that tastes good.
けど。
Of course, I'm happy as the person who bought them. But I hope Sakura doesn't regret this moment on the bathroom scale later. That's such a rude comment. Why is... Like, can we just not think about this ever, actually? Like, I know the standards in Asian countries are different, but like, can we just never? After my break, I feel much better. My fever seems to have been due to fatigue, so I'm back to normal after resting for half a day.
ではシロ、午後は鍛錬に使うのですね。
I'm just gonna skip this part since we technically read it already. Okay. It'll stop me at She says, Senpai, I'm done prepping the amberjack that just leaves tomatoes and pumpkin, right?
あ、そっちは片付けた。これからソースの味付けで、終わったら焼きに入る。あと、今日は茶碗蒸しも作るから、大鉢出してくれ。なんか、昨日藤姉が奮発してカニ買ってきてくれたんだ、これが。
はあ、カニ風味かまぼこ五目ですね。あれ、美味しくて綺麗だから大好きです。
With the help of exertion, Sakura sets the bowl down on the kitchen counter. Hard into making dinner as thanks for everyone's help during breakfast and lunch. I prefer it if Sakura relaxes in the living room like Saber, but she's stubborn about helping as she always does. Also, you were just sick. In the middle of dinner hustle, I was Tasaka here, the doorbell rings. Sakura's here next to me, so it must be a visitor.
私が行ってきます。
Oh, you know what? It must be Shinji.
さくら。
Because that's what the thing showed, the preview. Sakura goes to the house entrance before I can stop her. Something is making me anxious. I put down the daikon I've been peeling and go check for the front door. Whoever keeps ringing the doorbell, the non-stop ding-ding sounds almost manic. Sakura lets the visitor know she's coming and unlocks the door. An instant later,
さあ、そろそろ家に帰る時間だぞ、さくら。
I hear a smooth, melodramatic voice. It clashes with the rude way its owner shoves his way into the house. It all happened in a second. The doorbell rang non-stop.
はい、どちら様ですか？
Sakura unlocked the door. Shinji wrenched the door open and stepped inside.
兄さん。
さあ、そろそろ家に帰る時間だぞ、さくら。
Without missing a beat, Shinji grabs Sakura's arm and drags her toward the door, ignoring her dismay. It sounded like he smacked the shit out of her. I run. By the time I get there, Shinji is already 1 foot out the door.
何のつもりだ、シンジ。
やあ、エミヤ。妹を連れて帰るために兄貴が迎えに来たんだが、どこかおかしいかい？
連れて帰るだって。
おいおい、このうちじゃ妹の迎えに兄貴が来たらおかしいっていうのか？だいたいさ、人の妹をそそのかしてるのはお前じゃないか、エミヤ。まさかそれで僕の弱みを握ろうなんて考えているんじゃないだろうね。
I don't know what to say. Shouldn't you just...
あ、それとも何かい？いざとなったら大事な妹を盾にして影にこそこそ隠れようってのかい？そりゃまた随分と卑怯な真似をするな、エミヤは。
He actually went there.
ああ？何その顔。お前バカじゃねえの？
シンジ。
いいじゃん今の声。いいぜ。この前の続きをやってやるよ、エミヤ。
My hands ball into fists. I can't keep my cool. I don't think she wants us to punch him. So I'm not going to. Like, despite the fact that he absolutely deserves it, we're not gonna do it. Although I do want to look at the flowchart real quick. It's just an either or pick. I bear with it. I force down the white heart rage that threatens to overwhelm me. It wouldn't help to lay a hand on him right now. My fight with Shinji is already over. I could punch Shinji, but there would be no more. More importantly, I don't want Sakura to see us fighting. This is the main reason. If he doesn't turn out okay, I'm going back. Sakura's sobbing voice brings me back to my senses.
さくら。
驚いたな。お前が僕にそんな口聞くの、もしかして初めてじゃないか？
Shinji's voice is filled with an amusement I've never heard from him before. Sakura stares at the ground, slightly trembling.
で、さくらはどうしたい？ここに残るか、魔刀家に帰るか。僕は優しいからね。可愛い妹の意見は尊重するよ。
はい。言うことを聞くから、先輩の前でだけはやめてください。帰れって言うのなら帰りますから。
僕の言うことを聞くんだな、さくら。
Sakura nods wordlessly.
そうか。そこまで言われちゃさくらを連れ戻すのはやめておくよ。僕は寛大な兄貴だからね。妹のやりたいことはさせてやらなきゃな。そうだろエミヤ。
シンジ。
そんな怖い顔で見るなよ。さっきのはただの冗談。場の雰囲気に合わせたジョークじゃんか。いつまでも根に持ってると陰湿なやつだと思われるぜ。
She returns to the door.
じゃあな、さくらをよろしく頼むよ、エミヤ。けどさくら、気が向いたらいつでも帰ってきていいんだぞ。
He leaves with a wave. Shinji departs the Emiya house without Sakura. What the fuck just happened? What the fuck was that? Obviously something's going on there, and she knows something that I feel like she shouldn't know, at least as far as we've communicated, the game has communicated to us. Something's going on there. What the fuck was that? All right, time to speculate, chat. What do we think's going on here? He knows something that we don't know, and it has to be related to the Mattel bloodline. What would he know that would make Sakura upset like that? Because I was just under the impression that it was abuse. And it might still just be abuse, but something's going on here. He came in, Shinji came in, said that we were using Sakura as a fucking shield so he wouldn't retaliate. And then heard the, what the fuck? Why is their dynamic like that? I can't make heads or tails of it. I don't know why their dynamic would be like that. I resume making dinner. I don't know what to talk about, so I just cut tomatoes and pumpkin. The only sound in the kitchen is I'm actually, you know what? I'm very happy that I actually did go back and try to make Sakura happy during that the rewind, because I feel like something's going to happen where she's just not going to be allowed to. Like some shit is going down. I don't like it. The only sound in the kitchen is the chop of a knife on the cutting board. This is awkward.
先輩、ご飯炊けましたよ。内村先生はまだですけど、そろそろご飯にしちゃいます？
ああ、そうだな。ちょっと早いけど、そうしようか。はい。
それじゃあ早速準備しますね。
Sakura moves briskly, helping me as if the earlier confrontation never happened. That's weird. That's insanely weird. But it's obvious she's forcing herself to act that way. Okay, that's fine. It's less weird then. Sakura is acting calm because she doesn't want me to worry. It's too late. I'm already trying to figure out what's going on and how she's connected to the plot. That's Sakura's choice, then I can only play along. She's the one who's most troubled right now. Also, if the game didn't lock you into specific routes, I feel like we would have done this route first. Even if it's a forced smile, I should give her a smile of my own, huh?
Sakura?
Hear the sound of a bowl dropping in turn. Shattered rice bowl is at Sakura's feet. Did you see her eyes? The light went out in her eyes. She suddenly collapsed. The strength goes out of her legs, and she falls to her knees, then backwards.
Sakura!
I rush over to support her. It's bad. Feel Sakura's fever even through her uniform.
Sakura!
Is it a fever or is she burning?
Sakura!
Where the fuck is Saber? Why would she need to return home? Is she real? Is she a real person? Is she some kind of homunculus or something? And she needs to like get magical energy or some shit? Like, why would she need to return home? Despite how weird Shinji is, I do think he actually does in his own twisted way care about Sakura. And the way that that interaction came to be, he said, you can stay here as long as you want, but you can come home whenever you want. Which means that he does not need to force her to come home. So what the fuck is going on? Her voice is listless. Even though she's on the verge of passing out, I can tell that she's doing her best to form words.
どうしたじゃない。さくら、まだ風邪治ってないじゃないか。
いえ、けどこれぐらい大丈夫ですよ。
バカ、大丈夫なやつがいきなり倒れるか。
Damn it, such a fool. I could have let Sakura work so hard all day if I knew she was still sick. Throwing what happened earlier on top of that, it's no surprise she'd pay for mental and physical stress.
それより先輩、お茶碗割っちゃってごめんなさい。すぐに片付けます。
I scooped Sakura up in my arms.
先輩。
The light is still not in her eyes.
夕食は後だ。今すぐベッドに放り込んで寝かしつける。文句があるなら治ってからにしろ。
I walk to the guest house carrying Sakura in my arms. I ignore anything she tries to say along the way. To be honest, I'm in such an intense mood that her words barely register anyway. After a while, Sakura takes the hint and stops protesting by the time we get to the guest room. She looks somber and does what I ask. The fever appears to have worsened, though. The fever appears to have worsened, though the rest of her body doesn't feel any warmer. I leave the guest room. Time to change the dinner menu. Need to hurry up and make okayu or and something that can accompany it. It's almost 10 p.m. Dinner is over and it's time to get ready to go on patrol. Sakura is sleeping in her bedroom. I eat dinner with Saber. Uchini didn't come over. Maybe she's busy?
シロ、そろそろ時間ですが。
We shouldn't go out tonight. Saber wants to head out. Alright, well. I'm worried about Sakura. I can't leave Sakura alone tonight. My presence alone won't make her any better, but I want to be able to help right away in case she needs it.
すまん、セイバー。今夜の巡回はなしにする。今はさくらが心配だ。
わかりました。マスターの指示に従います。
That's a surprise. I was sure Saber would be against it, but she simply accepted what I said without protest.
勘違いはしないように。体調が優れないのはさくらだけではありません。シロウも同様に疲労しているから今夜は休息するのです。あなたの魔力は未だ満たされていない。さくら同様、今夜は無理をせず休むことです。
ありがとう、セイバ
ー。礼は不要です。私はシロウのサーバント。主の体を第一に考えるのは当然です。
With that, Saber sits down in the living room and pours herself a cup of warm water. Warm water?
で、シロウ、理解ある歌詞に与える褒美とかそういったものはないのですか？
Saber asked me a question, her tone adorably mixed with petulance and anticipation.
そっか。待ってろ、セイバー。
I divine her desire for a midnight snack and assemble a tray of tea and cookies that with Fujini brought just for her, grinning wryly all the while. Saber's cute. My magic circuit closes. Once the red-hot rod leaves my spine, I sigh in relief. My daily routine, which I've been neglecting lately, goes off without a hitch to my surprise. Maybe it's thanks to my contract with Saber. I've always had a hard time forming a magical circuit, but it's easy now.
けど、作るのに1分かかってるようじゃ使い物にならない。
All I can do is strengthening something into a weapon. If I'm taken by surprise, I still need to desperate straits with no way to defend myself. If I could at least shorten it by half to about 30 seconds.
今度、遠坂に相談してみるかな。あいつなら、効率のいい魔術回路の作り方を知ってそうだ。
I don't know what she'll want to return, though, so I can't just ask her on a moment's notice. I hear footsteps on dirt. They're slow and unhurried. It's midnight. The person who comes from the shed, letting the moonlight guide her path, is...
先輩、まだ起きてますか？
Sakura. The color of her face looks a little better. But my mind goes blank. Sakura is wearing something I haven't seen before. I take incomprehensible damage. The clothes that Fujini gave her, but seeing Sakura out of her school uniform sends my head spinning.
先輩？
ああ、起きてる。さくらの方はいいのか？外、寒かっただろ。
はい。熱はほとんど下がりました。気分転換に外に出たら、こっちで物音がしたから、先輩かなって。
そっか。じゃあ、あとはあったかくして、ちゃんと寝るだけだな。うん。よかったよかった。
I'll light the stove I just fixed. Good. It turns on. Now warm us up a little.
ほら、ここも冷えるけど、外よりマシだ。寝てばっかりで目が冴えてるんなら、話し相手になるぞ。
はい。それじゃあ、お邪魔しますね、先輩。
Sakura makes her way toward me with sure steps. I'm glad. She really does look like she's feeling better.
あったかい。ちゃんと治ったんですね、これ。
なんとかな。直し始めの頃はあんまりにもオンボロなんで、さすがに無理だってさじ投げてたけど。
そうですね。あんなの直すぐらいなら、藤姉が真っ二つにしたビデオデッキを直すぞって怒ってましたもん、先輩。
That's fine.
けど結局、捨てられずに持ち帰ったんですよね。
いや、それは往生際が悪いのはこいつだけじゃなかったというか。
I still was broken, but once I saw that it could be fixed, I just couldn't leave it alone.
先輩、一度いたら聞かないから。物分かりがいいようですっごく頑固なんですよ。気づいてました？
頑固かな、俺。
頑固ですよ。それにすっごく強引なんです。さっきだって私の話を全然聞いてくれませんでしたから。
Sakura's in an oddly good mood, even though she's scolding me. Not that I'm unhappy to see her in good spirits again.
悪い。さっきはカッとして考えが回らなかった。
そうですね。先輩、私と自分に怒ってて怖い顔してました。先輩には迷惑をかけてばかりですけど、
He literally
さっ
wasn't.
きのは本当に悪いことをしたんだなって反省したんですよ。
Sakura's so gentle. She's still getting over her illness, but how do I put it? It isn't the usual Sakura that's trying to do her best in front of me. It's like I'm seeing the real Sakura.
それで少し子供の頃を思い出しちゃいました。私、子供の頃は家にこもってばかりで言いたいことも言えなかった。私が本当の気持ちを言わなければみんなうまくいくって思い込んでずっと黙ってたんです。けどそれじゃダメですよね。私は心配かけたくなくて黙っていたけど、それがもっとお父さんや兄さんを心配させてたんです。
そっか。けどさくらが親父さんや信者を大切に思ってたのは本当なんだから、さくらの気持ちだってちゃんと伝わってたんじゃないか。口にしなくても伝わることってあるだろ。
そうですね。そうだといいです。それで先輩はどうだったんですか？私、先輩が子供の頃の話あんまり聞いたことないんです。
俺？別に今と変わらないんじゃないかな。昼間は街中走り回って、
You know, if we ignore the giant fuck you fire.
夜はここでガラクタいじってた。
Feeling bashful, I scratched my cheek. It's a little embarrassing as a man to admit, that my life hasn't changed much since childhood.
わあ、街中を走り回ってたんですか？
そのパトロールの真似事。弱きを助け強きをくじくってのに憧れてたんだ。
My main battlefield was the park. I recall spending a lot of time there with the other kids my age, picking fights with slightly older kids. I vaguely recall one of the kids who was really clever for their age, whom I saw as a devilish nemesis.
なるほど。いじめっ子から街を守ってたんですね。先輩、昔からそういう人だったんだ。
さくら、笑顔で言われるとさすがに我が身を振り返っちまうからやめてくれ。割と恥ずかしい。
恥ずかしくなんかないです。私、子供の頃に先輩と会ってたらきっと子分にしてもらってました。私みたいな引っ込み思案には手を取って外に連れ出してくれる人がいないとダメなんです。
子分ってさくらな。
And actually, I bet Sakura would have trained with me daily if we'd known each other as kids. I can definitely imagine my younger self shouting motivational phrases at her as we ran along the riverbed and meditated in the dojo. Anyone watching this would have seen us as boss and minion. Then Sakura would have grown up big and strong under my guidance. Like this. Or devil in girls' clothing like this. I feel a sudden chill. Thank goodness she turned out so modest and graceful.
先輩。
まあちょっと頭が飛んでた。独り言なんで気にしないでくれ。
はい、それはいいんですけど、聞きにくいこと 聞いてしまっていいですか？
いいけど、なんだよ。
藤村先生から聞いたんですけど、先輩エミヤの家に引き取られた養子だって。
She absolutely knows something. I can't tell what it is she knows. Does she know everything? Like, what's the deal?
あれ、言ってなかったっけ？藤姉の言う通り、親父の養子だぞ、俺。
先輩、それって
いや、別に隠し事じゃないし、その通りだし。さくらこそどうしたんだよ、そんなこと聞いて。
先輩は気にしてないんですか？知らない家にもらわれていっぱい嫌なこととかあったんじゃないんですか？
そりゃ藤姉の入れ知恵だな。まあ初めの1年はそう見えたかもしんないけど、あれはあれで辛くはなかったし、嫌なことなんてなかったと思う。
じゃあ楽しかったんですか？先輩は。
I don't think she's a real person. This is the first time anyone's ever asked me. After the fire, my first year with Kitasuga was a difficult one, so we're mostly recovering from my injuries. After that, I fished. She's either adopted, which is the most logical one, or she's not a real person. The way that everything is happening here, she's having complications that would only lead me to believe that she's not a real person. The other option being is that she's just from a different magical family. But what other magical family could she possibly be from to be adopted into? On top of the fact that, like, there's just no reason for it. Like, there's no reason for them to adopt it. I can't think of a logical reason why to adopt someone else if they can't, like, inherit the bloodline shit, right? So after that, I've just been on the move day after day, like I still am now. I followed Kitasuga's footsteps to learn magecraft. Found meeting and helping as many people as I could, and spent my days roaming the town. Can I truly say I enjoyed it? Never had the luxury of considering that question.
どうだろう。楽しかったかどうかはわからない。ただ、俺は親父みたいになりたかった。
それは藤村先生が言っていたような正義の味方にですか？
Sakura timidly asked. Can I answer?
おかしいかな。
I feel bashful about it, but I say how I really feel.
いいえ、先輩は間違ってません。まっすぐでかっこいいです。
Her words are calm. Normally they make me so embarrassed that I couldn't look her in the eye, but the sentiment goes straight to my heart, and I feel like thanking her.
じゃあもう一つ聞きますね、先輩。もし
Yes,
私
something's
が悪い
happening.
人になったら許せませんか？
I'm taken aback by the sudden question. See, if I'm Shido in this exchange, I'd be like, you're not capable of becoming bad, so I don't have to answer this question. But if I consider it seriously,
さくらが悪いことをしたら怒る。きっと他のやつより何倍も怒ると思う。
I'd probably push everything else from my mind and scold Sakura in that case.
わかった。先輩にならいいです。
That sounded like a proclamation of death. Like, I'm going to become bad and I need you to kill me. Sakura nods in apparent relief. Seeing her smile, I feel like this has happened before.
部屋に戻りますね。おやすみなさい、先輩。
Sakura returns to her bedroom. I watch her leave and get the odd feeling that I'm forgetting something. I go back to my bedroom. I slip into bed quietly to avoid waking Saber and close my
思い
eyes.
出した。
I realize what's been nagging at my mind. That's right, it was... He was in the shed back then, too. 2 years ago... No, a year and a half to be exact. It was 2 summers ago. Sakura had come over several times asking to help out around the house, and I'd turned her down each time. But she wouldn't back down. She showed up every day, showing more stubbornness than I'd known she had. Eventually, I gave in. Her tenacity impressed me, and one day I called her over to the shed to declare my surrender.
Sakura には負けた。負けたからこれやる。
It's an old key. Kiritsugu used to use it, and it had been put away in the shed for years. I handed it over to Sakura. Sakura was shocked and vehemently refused it, saying that she didn't deserve to have it. If memory serves, she insisted that she was too much of a stranger to hold even on to even a duplicate of the key. Weird phrasing.
毎日手伝いに来るくせに他人者にもあるか。これからは好きにうちを使ってくれ。その方が俺も助かる。
I didn't take no for an answer and pushed it into her hands. And that's when I saw it.
はい、ありがとうございます先輩。大切な人から物をもらったのはこれで2度目です。
The freezer does that again, but fuck that nonsense. I'm gonna make a grilled cheese. Nice. Weird shit is happening, and by weird shit I mean I feel like this character is a demon, but she's sunshine, so I'm confused. I'm conflicted. She's giving demon vibes, but she's literally made of sunshine. Sakura nodded, looking elated.
Ah, そうか。
Kill it with fire? No. Kotowaru. Like, she said some things that are very concerning, but like, concerning in the sense that like, it's beyond her will. Like, she does not have the choice but to be a demon. That's what I was struggling to remember. Sakura always tries her best and smiles and her smile is always kind and gentle. But I haven't seen her look this content since the summer day. Since that summer day. Interlude. Feito Temple. All been in place since Gaster's demise. The monks who collapsed due to an unknown illness were all left the mountain, leaving the temple completely uninhabited. Gates are tightly shut to residents of the temple, say nothing of visitors.
ひどい匂いだ。鼻が曲がるどころの話じゃねえな。
Gilgamesh? Voice echoes in the empty temple grounds. His lithe blue form... Oh, it's Lancer. Lithe blue form is illuminated by the moonlight. Lance is about to die. A muscular body without a gram of excess, the long scarlet weapon belonged to the servant called Lancer.
おうおう、キャスターがくたばったってのに結界は健在か。いや、醜悪さは以前より5割増し。これに比べればキャスターは上品だったな。
Lancer casually peers out over the temple grounds. He grips his crimson spear. Intelligence, gathering, and observation are his primary tasks. He isn't happy about it, but orders are orders. It's his policy to follow his lord's commands and deliver the results asked of him. Accordingly, he skirmishes with several servants and so far disengaged each time. Lancer hasn't fought any battles of his own initiative for his contract with his master. Tonight's scouting mission to Feito Temple is no exception, so he shouldn't need his spear. He can conjure his noble phantasm at any time he wishes. Make it unnecessary to be armed when there is no enemy to fight.
キーうるせえこと。キャスターは風使いと呼んでたんだが、水気の女だったのかね。雲だのカエルだの、陰湿な輩が多いが。
He walks to the temple grounds. His manner appears utterly defenseless and unbecoming of a servant. So unguarded is that on the off chance another servant is lurking nearby, he would surely perish in an ambush.
ああ、頭をすげ替えられたって線もあるな。ここは腐った小虫しかいない。 持ち主不在の廃屋に救うのはお前たちの常套手段だ。
Lancer's found moved as it left. The blue-clad spearsman admonishes someone who isn't present.
にしても一匹でかいのがいるな。どこの生まれか知らないが、山奥で獣と暮らしていた面してやがる。おまけになんだこりゃ、砂の匂いか。へっ、大雲かと思えば小汚い砂虫とはな。やだやだ。なんだってこんなしけた野郎の偵察なんかしなきゃならねえのかなった。
But attacked him. He bats aside a silver flash of light. With a single flourish of his spear, Lancer deflects 3 deadly darts from the darkness. The wicked daggers plunge into the ground. They are dirks, short knives made not for slicing but for skewering their unlucky target. Each was hurled with unerring accuracy at Lancer's 2 eyes and windpipe respectively.
いい腕だが、二度とはするなよ、砂虫。挨拶もなしで命を取られるのは趣味じゃねえし、何よりお前にとっちゃ命取りだ。
The muscled blue form faces the darkness. Something faintly shifts in the gloom of the shrine. Gross! A skull laughs, its bony facade as white as the moon. The battle commences without preamble. The white skull shrieks in no human tongue as it attacks Lancer. Who means the damage without so much as twitching an eyebrow. The skull's thrown dirks are on par with Archer's arrows. 30 in total are loosed from the darkness at very close range, and Lancer parries every single one effortlessly. The skull halts. That's strange. No matter how capable a spearsman Lancer is, he surely can't have blocked every single one of the skull's daggers, each aimed precisely enough to thread a needle. Moreover, his opponent wields a polearm. The darts were aimed at the spear's blind angles and should have struck his opponent's vital points. So how could Lancer have defeated every last one?
おい、まさかとは思うが、お前の芸はそれだけか。
Lancer's demeanor changes. He stops, and his merely curious hostility shifts to determined intent to kill the skull.
ならこれでしまいだ。お前が何者か知らんが、まあ、その仮面ぐらいは剥がすとするか。
More daggers surge out of the darkness. Just as Lancer is about to advance on the skull, he's intercepted by a frenzied barrage. And that too is thwarted. With only a subtle movement of his spear, Lancer nullifies attacks he shouldn't even be able to see. Skull mask trembles. It doesn't speak, but it gulps down its next shriek, staring in disbelief at the enemy coming for its head. It aims another dagger for Lancer's throat between the gap in the spear's movements. Skull mask trembles. As Lancer's spear deflects daggers, it spins in a neat circle in Lancer's hands, arching up into an attack at Skull's jaw. Defense and repose. Both maneuvers executed perfectly simultaneously. The skull has no way of defending itself in mid-flight. The white mask falls. Lancer doesn't press the attack. His orders are to merely observe the enemy. This is a golden opportunity to execute his opponent. He lacks authority to make that decision.
バカが言っただろう。俺に飛び道具はうまくないと。忠告を聞かなかったのはそっちの方だぜ。
Lancer reorients his spear toward his enemy, which is hiding its face and calmly launches. A dark body. A right arm contained in bandages. Its face, once concealed by a white skull mask, is now shrouded in darkness and difficult to make out clearly. No. It would be closer to call it featureless, lacking obvious protrusions or depressions.
私の面を見たな、ランサー。
You don't have a face.
そりゃこれからだ。サーバントには違いないようだしな。どこの英雄かはっきりさせるとするか。
なるほど。余分な縛りがあったのか。道理で殺さないわけだ。
Server retreats cloaked in shadow. A dirk is clutched in its hand, its lethal intent towards the Lancer undiminished.
やめとけ。生まれつきでな。目に見えている相手からの飛び道具なんざ通じねえんだよ。よっぽどのものじゃない限り、その距離からの投擲は効かねえぞ。
そうか。流れ屋の加護か。さすがは夏希の英霊。私などとは物が違う。
Shadows sway. The dark servant crouches down low like a spider, then suddenly flings another dagger while leaping high into the air. If its high leap can be compared to that of a deer, then one might compare its frantic scurrying to that of a spider, snake, or scorpion. The servant flees, hiding its face. The speed of its flight is on par with Lancer, but Lancer's explosive bursts of agility are without peer. It would be unthinkable for him to need more than a moment to close in on its prey.
確かに喉を狙ったんだが、しぶといな。治ってるってわけじゃねえし、ありゃぶっ飛んでやがるな。
Lancer gives chase, his enemy skating on the wet surface like a water strider. His pursuit turns and splits the water in contrast to the target's elegant escape, but the water strider has no hope about running.
痛みで止まらねえんなら、付け根でも切りつければよかったか。他の連中には通じねえ手だからな。つい後回しにしちまったが。
For a human, the severing of one's limbs or major arteries is a critical injury. A laceration to the aorta, for instance, would cause catastrophic blood loss, leading to certain death in combat. But this logic only applies to the conventional battle between mortals. It is unrealistic to expect a servant, a mighty heroic spirit, to die of exsanguination, as they are powered not by blood but magical energy. Injuring a major blood vessel would only amount to less effective secondary means of harm. It would be a different story if one were to cripple all 4 limbs, but no servant is easily immobilized. Any time wasted on less lethal immobilizing wounds could expose the attacker to a lethal respite.
なるほど。だが通覚を殺す手に頼るような英霊に治癒能力などあるまい。次の打ち込みで蹴りをつけるか。
Lancer crosses the body of water in a geysering gust. In 2 seconds, his prey will be in hand. In a flash, he moves to cleave the fleeing water strider from the left hip. Lancer immediately leaps in retreat. The water surface jumps. No, something in it bears its fangs. Dark, thin tendrils chase Lancer into the air. It's as if the water itself attacks him. The spectacle brings to mind ancient horrors lurking in ocean depths. Lancer has nowhere to run. He strikes the water with a spear and uses every rune he's possessed to inscribe a bounded field into the lake bed, but it's easily consumed by its pursuer. Dark tentacles surround him, eating up his safe haven second by second. Activated fully in concert, his runes are powerful enough to defend against a greater noble phantasm, but they've barely even managed to slow this thing down. Assassin cackles.
どうしたランサー。動かねば飲まれるぞ。
The water strider floats on the water, reveling in its sight. But it too is no exception from the tentacle's hunger. It doesn't dare approach the blackened water for fear of being consumed. It knows that the dark tentacles will instantly shift its attention to any new prey.
だがそうはいかん。お前を仕留めるのは私だ。 未だ経験が足りないのでな。お前を打倒し、足りない知能を補わねば。
So this servant is an amalgam? Light glints off the Shredder's dagger. It throws its dagger at the immobilized Lancer. Still, it is futile. Even while fully engaged with this bizarre foe, Lancer is immune to projectiles attacks.
懲りないやつだ。まあ、強気になるのはわかるんだが。
Lancer observes the tentacles surrounding him. Assassin has lured him a considerable distance from shore. It's 30 meters to the nearest bank. He can easily cross the piddling distance in a single bound.
そこで動かなかったお前の負けだ。様子見も済んだ。ここらで引き上げさせてもらおうか。
Lancer's body sinks, his spear warping. He takes a great leap into the air with the aid of his spear. Then, an utterly simple, straightforward attack is unleashed. A false heart emerges from Lancer's chest. From an impossible distance, still bobbing on the lake's surface, Assassin gouges at the spearman's chest. It's one of the purest forms of magecraft, the most simplified of curses. A cursed arm specialized in cursing humans passed down through Middle Eastern magecraft. Assassin's noble phantasm, Zebania, delusional heartbeat. It destroys Lancer's heart without fail. The spearman's lifeless body sinks into the dark water. The water dances. It writhes in stimulation, restless, brutal movement. The sight of a caged and starved beast thrown fresh meat would pale before the savagery. Countless dark tentacles, like appendages, consume the man-shaped heroic spirit. Floating on the black lake, the faceless servant drinks something red in the light. Okay, that was fucked up. I will save the game, and I will end this part here. If you're watching on YouTube, hit the like button, subscribe. I'm going to play the next part right now. So I don't know if I'm releasing this on the same day or the day after. So, you know, pay attention to that. This is about 3 hours. So if it is releasing on the same day in about 30 minutes, you will get the next part. And if it isn't, it will be the next day. So subscribe, hit the like button, and I'll see you guys in a little bit.